This is your brain. And this
is your brain on Tom.
Hello and welcome to another episode of my show. Hi, I'm Tom. How's it going? Just me this week. No intro. Just gonna be me. All over you. Face, neck, and chest. How's it going? It's been a hot minute since I did a solo one. I had all these people coming in, doing things. It was a good time. But I didn't ask anyone. No one came to me. And I have things I want to talk about. I actually was going to do this episode significantly earlier. But I spent the last 3 days just listening to music a bunch. Just kind of, I used to do it in college all the time. And I just haven't really done it since. Partially because I did hear someone say something that was you kind of just stick with the music choices you discover and make in college. And I was like, well, I used to do it all the time. I enjoyed it. I don't want to be a grump who gets stuck in what I've been, did a couple years ago. So I was like, oh, let me look into it. I investigated things, but poorly at first. So I was kind of just watching a bunch of Grimes music videos, and God, I love Grimes. She's so cool. She's just so cool. What the fuck? How can I be so cool? She's so cool. And all her videos are really cool and weirdly uniquely imaged, visually and stuff, and they're all really cool and neat and stuff. I love it. I found her in college, and I was like, oh, she's so cool. But I was watching through some of those things, getting into that, doing all that stuff, and then I ended one, and there was a little when YouTube ends a video, it's got the little the video player turns into a bunch of recommended videos, whatever. And one of them was a picture of the thumbnail was a girl with really heavy, black eye makeup on, black lipstick, and hair that's very much, dark black and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. But I wasn't going to go adventure. So I was like, oh, I'll just do what I normally do when I would do this and just go to MU, the 4chan board, which, let me just make a side thing. What is with everyone just shit-talking 4chan all the time? I get, it has, some really shit places, and it's some real, has been a place of real dumpster stuff, but, it's not the end of the world. It's sometimes there's some boards, sure, they kind of, fight with each other, but, it's all, real fun, all fun, and, if you don't like something, you just don't go to that board, or that thread, the thread that talked about that show. It's very, V is still kind of a cesspool, but I've been on V for so long, I just know how to navigate that, and most of these people are a lot of people just say things on there to make you upset. They don't like classic trolling as opposed to whatever the fuck is nonsense that goes on today. Basically, if anyone's mean on the internet, it's just labeled as trolling now for some reason. But I think it's just because old people get their hands on terminology that us youths use. So they're like, oh, okay, that's what this is. But yeah, so there's just different places. I think MU is a fine board. I've used MU a ton of times and found some really cool stuff that I really, really enjoy. So I always just go there occasionally, or at least I used to a lot more. Now I haven't, which is weird. I don't know why I haven't, but I just kind of recently started going back. And with 2017 wrapping up and everything, there was a bunch of stuff talking about various stuff. But on MU, I think what the thing where you could the catalog where you could see all the threads, someone had posted that exact same thumbnail. It was is this the peak of aesthetic or something? And I was like, interesting. All right. Now I need to look into what the fuck this music video was and what this band is, because I've seen them twice in literally 5 minutes. What are they? Are they the new hotness? Turns out no, they were not MU's next hotness. Because MU has a history of I'll say her becoming passionate about female musicians. Whenever there's a female musician that is cute in any way, they get excited. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. I don't really know, it's possibly almost tongue-in-cheek. I don't know. I know they were kind of a little abrasive to Lauren Mayberry of churches. I think they went a little too far for that. But with Grimes, the Grimes that they have are usually let's just talk about how cool Claire is. And everyone's like, let's fucking do that. And then people are like, she's terrible. And get out. And that's the extent of it. There's actually a little image I found. It was a poll, and it was does Grimes make good music? It was 10% yes, 89% or 90%, whatever it was no. And then someone edited that with the people who said yes were genius level people, and then or something, they said they'll make fun of people who just I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, so that wasn't. They weren't like the new hotness of MU. I just assumed they were kind of that this band was going to be doing that because attractive female doing a unique thing visually. And I was like, oh, maybe this will be it. Actually, no. It turns out the thing that MU really likes is something else that is fucking garbage. It was some Bandcamp thing I found. It was really bad. Oh god, it's very similar to I don't remember the name of this guy. Let me quickly look this up because I vaguely remember his name. And he's fucking terrible. But MU was obsessed with him, obsessed with his stuff for so long, and he's not good. No, OPN, is that the acronym? Yeah, Onethrix Point Never. It's just noise. It's just rhythmic noise, which I guess you could just say is all music, but it's just it's not for me. It's just rhythm. It's just it's bad. It sounds like noise. It sounds like a bunch of noise going off all at once. I never clicked with it. OPN is an acronym. You'll see people say that like in short. I've never clicked them. I was always like, this is dumb. But with some other group similar to that was just kind of Bandcamp, and like I was like, it was not good. But I digress. I found Pale Waves, which is what this band was. That's with the girl with the eye makeup and stuff like that, and they're fucking awesome. Holy shit. Why are y'all sleeping on this band? Oh my god, I'm fucking obsessed with them. They're fucking awesome. They're so good. They have 4 songs on Spotify. There's technically 7 total. Maybe there might be 8. I don't know. I was on one of the. I've watched like every piece of media they have on YouTube at this point. I've watched like every live show they've had, every fucking music video several thousand times at this point. Fucking interviews they've done, and they're just delightful people. Oh, they're just delightful. They're just having so much fun. They're just wonderful. I love them. But one of the YouTube videos that was like one of their live performances. It was like the guy who uploaded it by song, and someone was like, "Oh, did they do a full 8-song set?" And he goes, "Yes." And he goes, "I'd love if you upload them." And they only uploaded the 4 songs that are on Spotify, so I don't know if there's an 8th song that I'm just not aware of. I don't know, but whatever. There's 7 that I found are fucking awesome. Ugh. Although I can't find like some of them are really hard. Like the Tide is like kind of like hard to find because like it's not as. I think it was just what I think happened. I don't know for sure, but what I think happened was they had a SoundCloud or some kind of streaming thing because there's word of the songs are on the streaming services. People talk about that within like on these YouTube comments and stuff. That's how I'm finding out the history of this band pretty much. It's like I'm trying to decipher where stuff is and how to find certain stuff by watching them perform certain songs live and then going through the comments trying to figure out where the fuck I can find other versions of it. I think they had like a SoundCloud or something, but their SoundCloud currently has no songs on it. So I think they might have had one. Got picked up by Dire Hit. What is the fucking name of their label? I don't remember. The same label that the Dirty Hit. The same label that 1975 are on. Which a lot of people are like, oh, they're the female, like a female-led 1975. No, I don't. I've never like clicked with 1975, so maybe I just don't like that guy's like voice or something. But like, people seem to think if you like 1975, you'd like them. They toured with them and stuff, and they did a bunch of stuff in last year, which breaks my fucking heart that I didn't find this band sooner. So I missed their last outing in America where I could have seen them because they went to New York a few times. I did stuff with them because they were, although I bet the tickets were really expensive because they were 1975, but they did solo stuff too up here while they are over here because they're British. If I didn't say that earlier. So they've done a bunch of stuff, a couple things over here, I think, where they just kind of did small shows while they were with the 1975, but they'll be back over here soon. And I've already bought my ticket. Going. That'll be awesome. It's down in the city, I believe. Well, I bought the ticket for the city, but they're doing a bunch of stuff over here, and I think they're touring currently, but will be over here, like in this country, like between like March and May or something, March and April, something like that, maybe late February. So I'll be enjoying that because they're so great. But they're the best. I love them so much. Like that's all I wanted to listen to. Like learn a whole bunch of stuff about other things about music. Like, I guess like it's being like a the Manchester band is like a thing that like happens. I'm explaining this weird, but I guess like bands that are from Manchester are like generally considered like the next big thing comes from Manchester or something like that's like this. Like if you look up bands from Manchester, it's like fuckload of bands you've heard of that are just like this huge chunk, and they're labeled as like the next big thing from Manchester or something. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't really realize that. And I was like, where's Manchester? I've heard of it a bunch. Let me look it up. It's so far from London. Oh my God. It's like 4 hours from London. I had no idea. I had this such a bad geographical layout of England in my head. I had absolutely no idea where Manchester was. I had no idea where Leeds was. And I had no idea where London was in comparison to all of these. I knew where London was in the country. If you're like, oh, here's a map of the UK, point to the area where London is, I could have done that. I could not have told you where any of these other cities were that people always talk about from England. And I just discovered that they're so far apart from each other. I had no idea. Leeds is actually pretty close to Manchester. I found. I didn't know this. But yeah, so like there's like this huge thing of like bands from Manchester. What a thing! And like I had no idea. So I was like looking into that and doing that stuff. I guess the 1975 are also from Manchester. But yeah, it's also weird too because they have a very gothic aesthetic. The two girls that are in the band, the lead singer and the drummer. I guess technically the one guy also kind of does. He wears like long sleeve, like pure black turtlenecks and like black pants and like dress shoes. Like very, they have a very, what do you call it? Kind of like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that German Expressionist film that I love so much. I don't know if I explained on this show, but I really like German Expressionism like a lot as like an artistic movement. It's like from the late 20s, early 30s in Germany. Weirdly enough, French New Wave was kind of created to counter like the extreme weirdness of German Expressionism. So it's kind of like a little bit more conservative in like visuals, but like it gets experimental in like editing and like shot composition and like having people like just sit in the room in silence and stuff like that. So like they'll play with that stuff a lot. But it's like a counter action to what was going on with German Expressionism. What I like the visuals of it, and like if you've never heard of the German Expressionism, never seen like Nosferatu, Metropolis, Dr. Caligari, the closest modern parallel would be anything by Tim Burton. So like the visuals of like actually Edward Scissorhands, the look of him very much like he's like a character out of one of those movies, out of this film movement. Tim Burton has gone on record saying that this is a movement that meant a lot to him, and his like it affected the way he like pursues art and stuff. But like so that would be like a really good modern example of what that like a character would look like, and also kind of a story structure of that where it's like the monster trying to be like a person, or like what is man type thing like that. And similar to an idea of like, but also like visually as in like large big shadows, or like I talked about this a little bit actually when I talked about Blade Runner 2049. I was talking more about the original Blade Runner because it uses a lot of similar ideas with like heavy lighting, heavy shadow, stuff like the large lumbering buildings, stuff like that. That's more in Blade Runner than just general noir, but yeah, it's pretty wonderful. But what was I saying? They are so the Pale Waves, they are very much, they have a lot of that aesthetic going for them, like that like expressionist, which is kind of what made me like look at it first. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting, because I've never like associate like what's the word I want? Not associated, because I don't really know anyone that would be a part of this, but like identified with like goth culture and like the emo stuff. I didn't really know anyone growing up. I mean, I went to a Catholic school, so everyone pretty much was. You couldn't really express yourself at school in clothing or anything like that, so everyone kind of was very normal. And like I never really found anyone that was like, "Oh, let's hang out," and they were like, "Oh, cool. I wear fucking eye makeup." Like it was never a thing that like I knew anyone that would do something like that. So I wouldn't say associated. I guess I never really associated them because I never knew anyone. But I'm like discovering a little bit more about this because like they're somewhat like, while researching this band, it's finding more stuff about like, even though I don't think they necessarily claim that they're like that. A lot of times when I find out if like people, the different names that they go by, people are, like, oh, they're like a pop band. Like the one thing they described, they're like, oh, we're like a pop band with like emo lyrics. Like that was the extent of like their personal identifying thing. But when you read up on them and read up on stuff like that, you find more stuff about the, what do you call it? I guess the things people label them with. So I was looking into the like goth and emo stuff more, just because like clearly it's the imagery that they don't. And yeah, I like had no idea anything about those genres like at all. Like I was listening to something. I don't remember. I don't know. What's the one really famous girl musician that's like led that movement? I don't remember her name. She's like a weird name. Something sounds like a banshee, or the banshee's the band part. You know who I'm talking about. I can't remember what their band is called. And I was like, oh, this just sounds like punk music. Like, I don't understand. And I was looking at Wikipedia, like who would count as like goth, like the goth musicians, and like Joy Division was listed. I was like, is that goth? I always thought that was post-punk. And like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, is it just like an aesthetic thing? Is it like a context thing? And like, and then I was looking into something, because I guess the lead singer of Brand New is in some kind of trouble of some sort. I don't know. I didn't look into it any further than like some kind of opening. There's some article on Pitchfork. I read like the first paragraph, and I think it's something to do with, I don't know, I think he did something sleazy with underage girls or something, or just girls in general. I didn't like get into it that much, but they're like labeled as like, the article has something to do with like, emo music is anti-feminist or something to that effect. And I was like, it's a brand new emo? Like, I didn't even know this. Like, I have no idea what any of these genres of music mean, or who like categorizes as them, or what falls into what bucket. I had no idea. It was literally just like, oh, okay. Then I was looking into that more, and I was like, okay, what is this? And like, it's so weird that like, I listened to a bunch of these bands, you know, like the Brand New, Joy Division, Pale Waves, whatever it is, and I would never know how to identify any of them. But like, I'd be like, oh, they're just a rock band. I don't know. I don't know what you want. I don't know. Like, they're a rock band that talks about sadder things. They're sad, kind of. I don't know. I couldn't explain like what it is about them that would make them fall into these categories. Like, if you're like, oh yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, they're an emo band or a goth band. Like, oh, I guess like they do have like darker themes, and like they're talking about like emotional stuff, I guess. But isn't that just a music thing? I don't know. Yeah, because like, it's weird. If you put metal in front of me and you're like, what are these? I'd be like, oh, this is like a dark, like a black metal with like some thrash influences or something. Like, I can tell you I can tell the difference between like metal, but I couldn't tell you the difference about most other music. Like, I'm just, especially like all this stuff, which I love all of this stuff. Like this stuff is, Pale Waves is the best band ever. Shout out to them. I fucking can't wait to be buying all of this stuff. Oh my God. When they don't have an album yet. They have an EP coming out like in March. If it comes out in any form of vinyl, I'm gonna buy it. It's the current artwork for it is just a black canvas with like their name and the EP's name at the bottom. I fucking want that on my wall. I want it so bad. They have a couple of things of merch, but they're from the 2017 tour. And if I'm gonna go to a 2018 show, should I wait? Should I just buy the hoodie now? Should I get the t-shirt now? I don't know. The only t-shirt sizes they have are small, but like that has never stopped me before. Like, I have my one grime shirt is a small, and like I don't care. I need it. I needed it real bad. So like, do I just? Well, I don't know. They're the best. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's just like so weird to me that like I just don't know about all of these things. I'm just like, oh right, this is how this genre should be defined. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you define genres. I'm not even sure how that works. Is it like by the sound, or is it by the context of what they're talking about? Is it the context of like, or is the sound more of like an effect on like the times? Like, do you make like, is it like when I'm looking at like Joy Division, like they're a punk band, a post-punk band. That's because it's just where they ended up, you know, like that's just the era that they were in. Like that was the sound that they wanted because the influences they had. Like, I don't know. I don't really know how any of that works. Like, what I don't really get it. So like, I don't know. It's but it's fucking Pale Waves, fucking all day. Like literally hours of just like rewatching their music videos, looking up different stuff, watching interviews. I'm like, this is so fun. I love them. God, they're so wonderful. Oh God, it's so good. I've never had like a music, or not even music, just like an art thing, like line up with me on like my existence so perfectly, where it's like everything these people do like just resonates with me like in a way that like I've never used the word resonate in terms of art. Like art never resonated with me. I just enjoy it. Like this was like, oh, this is resonating. So like that was, it's just been such a weird like has 6 days or something. It's been a very short amount of time for me to be like, nope, this is the best thing ever to me. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm all about this. Oh, they're so good. Fuck me. But also, when I also look into music and discovering things, I always like going and checking in with Anthony Fantano. He does the Needle Drop YouTube channel. He has very interesting taste. Like it's sometimes he'll just like you can talk about like a rap album and a metal album like back to back, and like it's very interesting that like because usually when I hear people like talk about music, they'll be like, oh, this and this and this, and then everything else that's not that, get the fuck out. And like he's very like agnostic with like taste, and he'll just do anything. And like I generally see myself that way. I don't really think there's any. I used to think the only genre I disliked was country, but I actually like a couple of things that like Neil Young did, are technically country, and I'm a big fan of that. So like I guess no, it's just like it's very specific sound towards that direction that I'd prefer. So I don't really care about any specific genre. So I like it when I can like just similar to like movies. There's nothing where I'm like I just don't see that genre. It's like does it appeal to me or no? Like that's the extent of it, you know. So I've heard people, and this always drives me crazy, where they're like, "Oh, it's animated, so no." It's like, what? How do you just disregard entire artistic movement, artistic medium? Sorry, because you just associate it with children. Like, how could you do this? What is going on? And like, drives me crazy. Drives me up a wall. Yeah, because it's just like, how can you like? I don't know. But I bet I've done it before. I've been like, fuck this entire thing. I mean, I guess I did it with, honestly, I've done it with theater for a while. So I'm like, fuck all of theater. It's awful. And then I was talking to Mike, and he was like, I don't get it. Like, why live? Why on a stage? This is awful. And he's like, well, why music live? And I was like, I don't have an argument. I guess you're right. Like, I want to see Pale Waves live. I want to go see fucking, some of these other bands I'm going to briefly touch up on live. And it's like, I would love to do that. You know, I like going to like concerts and stuff. Like, I guess you're right. Like it's like the live thing isn't the problem. I don't know why it is that a lot of theater doesn't resonate with me, and like I don't know what it is. You know, he's right though. Like I can't say I hate it objectively. I don't think I've ever seen anything that's really like I've even really like enjoyed. I've been like, oh, that's fun, but like I don't know. I've never been like, oh, this is awesome. Like this right here is the perfect version of this. Like. It being performed this way is the best way this could be done. I've never really seen that. I guess if that makes sense. Where it's like you watch like a movie, and I guess because like I enjoy movies a lot, and you can see like, oh, okay, they used the camera this way, they did sound this way, they did this. Like, okay, the reason that this had to be a movie is because it fell into, or it utilized sound and editing and visual and film, framing and stuff. I want another word, but whatever. Stuff like that, where it's like, okay, it used these things, the tools in the tool chest of cinematography and filmmaking. They use that to tell their story the exact perfect way they wanted to. Or I've never like watched like more times when I see stuff on theater, like I've seen like a couple things on Broadway, not a lot to be fair, but I've seen a few things where you're like, oh, that was really cool that they did that with the set, because that's a lot. Like, okay, there's like machinery in here and da-da-da, but it's more like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And it's not like, oh my God, that's perfect. Like, maybe I need to see some weird avant-garde thing to be really like, this is the theater. I don't know. It's never like spoken to me in any real way. I don't know. But I've heard some people talk about it where they're like, just knowing that they're alive in front of you is like it was like Mark Maron was talking about it. He's like, I just knowing that they're like breathing in front of me is like, that's why I just get emotional. I'm like, I've never experienced that. But I guess I've never like, I don't know. I guess because maybe I just dive too much into like the actual narrative of it. I'm not really thinking, I'm not trying to keep it split of like, there are human beings in front of me and then there's a story being told. Maybe that's something I should try doing next time, is be more like separate the story and performance in front of me and the idea that there are human beings in front of me doing the thing that I'm watching. Maybe, I don't know, but I definitely watch like a movie. Then like that's a person. Maybe not. I don't. Maybe I don't though. Actually, maybe I'm kind of like, this is a story visually being told to me visually, as opposed to like there are humans here. But I guess but then that doesn't make sense too, because sometimes you like watch something like, oh, is that actor, and then you're like, oh, okay, and like it, but does it take you out of it? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good point. That's a good idea. I don't know. I would like to like theater, but it's never like, it really has never spoken to me. I don't know why. I'm trying after Mike said that, been trying to define like what it is that it doesn't resonate with me. I don't like, obviously it's not whatever. Why it doesn't speak to me in any way. I don't know why. Yeah, it's been pretty great. It's been pretty great. Big fan. I just found, what the fuck was his name too? Going back to music. I don't remember. It was, he did an EP. Shit. I don't remember now. I'm going to vaguely look him up real quick. He's on SoundCloud, so it should probably just pop right up. Is there a recent tab in this? Here it is. Denzel Curry. That man's a fucking motherfucker. He's so fucking dope. What a baller. What a fucking baller. He's got some fucking good flow, good beats behind him. He's fucking sick. He's killing it. I recommend it. I actually really do. He's fucking awesome. Just fucking super baller with it when it comes to, just fucking rap music. He's a really, really good rapper, and I hope he actually takes off in a real soon, just to give him more opportunities to actually, just go in other places too, and not just be exclusive on. The only place I could find it was on SoundCloud. I didn't really look too intensely, but he was fucking sick. I really enjoyed everything he was doing. And then there was the other group. What was his name? Give me a moment. Oh, side note, Lil Xan sucks. He's fucking terrible. Why do people listen to him? I don't understand. MU was going crazy for him. Like, this guy's terrible. What's happening? Father John Misty. That guy's dope. I don't know how to explain it. Pure Comedy was the album that the Anthony Fantano was talking about. It's fucking rad. I get why he was all about it. It's pretty cool. It's like a weird, almost jazzy thing. I don't know. It's hard to, again, I don't know how to explain things now, because every time I think I know what a genre is, I'm completely wrong. So I would just recommend you go and listen to it. I think it's pretty cool. And what was the other one that I really, really liked? Oh, Sophie, one of the head people behind the PC Group, who has been doing a lot of mixes with Charlie XCX, and then her recent performances, they're not albums though, they're mixtapes. Like, that's another thing too. Apparently mixtape is a thing now in music. I think it's always been, but I'm just now seeing it's a thing. I have no fucking clue what it is. I have no idea what the fuck mixtapes are. Like, I guess they're albums, because some of them are longer than albums I listen to, which is weird. But I guess they're albums with they're not like thought of. They're not thought or like planned ahead, I guess is the concept. So it's not like a thing someone thought about where it's like, okay, I want it in this order. It's just like, here's a spattering of our music, and they release it. I digress. Charlie XCX has been putting out a few of those. They're not as good as the EP she did, Vroom Vroom, with the PC Group again. That one's awesome. That one's like, they just were like, we're not even going to try to appeal to like the mainstream, what Charlie XCX is known for. They're just going to try a weird thing. Like, I played it for Ben maybe a year ago at this point, and he was like, this is music? This counts as music these days? I'm like, okay. I really liked Vroom Vroom. I thought it was pretty fucking dope EP. And then she did two others, of which I don't recall the name of. The newest one's Pop 2. And they're fine. They're not bad at all. I don't even know why I'm looking this up. Doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter. So I looked up, I liked both of them, but they're with the PC Group. So Sophie is one of the head producers behind that, and she's been doing stuff with them forever. And then the other guy, who's AG Cook, I think is the other major name of the PC Group. And they're just producers that have been doing stuff. And Sophie released her own thing, like a was it an EP? I don't even know. I've only listened to one song, but I was a big fan. And I was like, I know who Sophie is. I enjoyed the work of the PC Group. I'm willing to enjoy this. So I just listened to one song. I was like, all right, cool. Also good. Fantastic. But, what was it? I don't remember what it is. It might not be it might just be an EP, but I don't remember. But yeah, been a lot of fun just like actually exploring music and like, let me try this thing. Oh, this is terrible. Moving on. Or like, oh, this is really good. But like, to find something like Pale Waves, be like, holy fuck, this is the fucking shit. This is the shit right here. Oh, so good. So good. And they just, like, they fucking line up with me aesthetically. I just like what they look like. I like all of, like, the imagery that they, like, so great. And, like, when they're performing, the lead singer, she does, like, a little, like, this, like, zombie dance thing, and she's, like, not playing guitar. It's like, oh, her guitar is fucking cool. They're fucking cool. Everyone looks cool. They sound cool. They're fucking great. What they talk about is cool. Oh, some of the things they talk about, man, they hit me real hard in the emotions. Like, I'm like, oh, God, I've been there. Oh, it's so weird that, like, the musical genre that if I had to define that I fall into the most is, I guess the best way to put it is sad British girls. I don't know why, but like I fucking love it. Oh God, it's so great. Daughter, so good. I saw Daughter live, Boston Calling a couple years ago. It was like it might have been one of their first like times in America. And I almost wept just seeing them. Like, oh, they're there. They did it. Because I found them when they had like 2 EPs, that like total at the time. I don't know why I'm like repeating myself. Yeah, they only had like a little bit, and then when they released their first album, but side note, "Youth" is the best song ever written by a daughter. So enjoy that. They released their first album. I was like, all right, this is fucking great. Like, they did it. They're fucking here. Like, for some reason, I associate myself like as like the father of daughter. I'm like, oh, they did it. Like, I'm just so proud of them. Like, oh, you're there, guys. You're there. Like, they did the theme song or some of the music, but they were in the trailer of the new Life is Strange game. And when I was watching the stream, it was like E3 or something where they were debuting it. I was like fucking marking out. I was like, Jesus Christ, daughters, holy fuck, they did it. They made it. It's like I have like this weird like emotional like, you got it, guys. You got it. You're gonna make it. I'm so happy. I'm just like, please fucking make it. But yeah, when they were alive, they were like trying a new song, and they like had messed it up. And then she was like, no, stop. And I was like, oh God, no, you just do it. Just do you. I'm so happy you're even in front of me. I don't care. If you want to stop, you want to keep going, you want to try it a second time, just go ahead. I don't care. I was so happy. But I'm feeling that way with Pale Waves, but even more so. I'm like, this is so fucking awesome. Because like just everything. Oh my God, the best. Yeah, but I guess that would be like my genre, just like sad British woman. And I don't know why. Because like, I'm neither British nor woman. I don't know why, for some reason, this resonates with me so deeply, but it really does, and I really, really enjoy it. But I also, like, just in general, enjoy female musicians more. I don't know why. Like, Lady Gaga, I'm like, this fucking shit right here. There are songs where she's like, all men are fucking gross, I hate men, and I'm like, you fucking go, girl, you got this. Like, I don't know why. I'm like, yeah, I'm gross. So I don't know what that's about. Because it's not even like I like self-deprecate in that way. I don't know. But for some reason, though, that is the genre of music that resonates with the most. Is like anytime a female singer happens to be British and singing about something that is emotional, I'm like, let's go. This is the shit right here. God, it's so great, so wonderful, the best. All right, we're gonna stop myself because I will just repeat myself and say they're the best over and over again, like I did last night when I was fucking losing my mind. I was about to record last night, like, this is just gonna be horrible. It's gonna be me saying the same shit over and over again. Not totally unnormal from the rest of the show, but what are you gonna do? But I did more stuff, because it's been a while. I briefly mentioned this on Twitter the other day, that Black Mirror is dope. It's fucking great. Continuing on this British media trend. I guess I'm a Britaboo now. Was a weeaboo, now about British culture. But still, that joke is horrible. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Black Mirror. Fucking really good. Really, really good. I'd watched the first episode like maybe 2 years ago. Like when it first came on Netflix. Because Kevin Smith had done an episode of his show. And he was with Scott Mosier, who had not watched it. And he basically like beat for beat explained what the first episode was. And I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah. I want to watch a dude fuck a pig. Let's go. Let's fucking see where this goes. So I watched it. And then I was like, that was cool. But I never went back. I don't know why. Then I started picking up steam. People were like, this is so good. Everyone loved this, blah, blah, blah. It's like a modern day Twilight Zone, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I popped on the second episode, which is far more to that like modern day Twilight Zone idea with like technology and stuff with, one of the best episodes, the 15 Million Merit, I think is the name of that one. That one's fucking sick. That one's really well done. It's a really good, like that one should be the first episode. Only to just, I guess because the first one's so abnormal, keep that one there and then move on. But the reason I think that second one does so well is because it just establishes just kind of what they are. It's like, all right, we're going to have a unique concept, this technology-based concept, and then we're going to tell our story at the length of which we want. Then the second episode's like maybe 2 hours, or no, it's not 2 hours. It's like an hour and 2 minutes, hour 3, hour 4, something like that. It's like just over an hour. I forget. But like it's because like the first 20 minutes, no one talks. There's no like real dialogue until like 20 or 30 minutes in. Like it's a lot of just like they're setting the stage of like everything sucks. Enjoy. Like here it is. This is why everything's bad. Da, da, da. And like it just shows all this like everything's like and everything's like emotional and intense and like this universe they live in and like this closed quarters that they have and all that stuff. But like it takes its time and it shows it's what's got to do. It establishes the world and does all this stuff in a very unique way, in a very interesting way. And I just think it's a really, really well done episode. That's one of my favorites. Not my favorite, since I have not finished the show, so I've not watched all of season 3 or season 4. So apparently, there's a couple episodes of season 3 that are really, really good. One of them was nominated for something, I think. I could be wrong. I forget. Was it an Emmy? One of them was nominated for an Emmy? Maybe something higher? I don't know. I don't really know what it counts. I guess it's because it's TV. Oh, it's necessarily TV? I don't know. Side note, it's weird when Netflix buys a show and then calls it a Netflix original. I don't know why I find that so strange, but like it makes me uncomfortable. It's like you didn't create this. You didn't. Sure, you're paying for it now, but like this isn't yours. Like, why are you claiming this is yours? It's so weird. What else? What was I saying? Oh yeah. It's just a really good show. It's fucking shot so beautifully. And that's what I was saying on Twitter. I don't understand. I just don't understand how they can have, like, every episode's a different DP, director of photography, for those who don't know. Everyone is a different one. They all have a different DP, and they all look great. They all look, and it's like it's staying within a similar style. It looks really great. It looks like it's one show. It looks coherent, and it all is well done. Like, everyone has at least one, every episode has at least one phenomenal shot. We're like, holy dick, that's some shit right there. That's awesome. It's just crazy. I don't understand how they fucking manage that. The head guy, is it Charlie Brooker? Is it something else? Charlie Booker? Is this just my dyslexia making it so I don't know how this guy's name is actually pronounced? Possibly. Yeah, that guy's fantastic. Every episode that he writes, like solo, way better than when someone steps in or like takes over. What's one of the ones? I'm trying to think. What was one of the weaker ones that I really didn't enjoy? That was earlier on. Oh, the what's his name? The Waldo one or whatever, the one with the cartoon bear. Like, that one's fine. I don't know why that one's like a Black Mirror episode, you know? It's like, I don't really know what this one's accomplishing. I don't know why this is here, etc., etc. I'm just not a huge fan of anything that one really. It was like, and I found out that one was later. That wasn't exclusively written by him. The first episode of the third season is one of the worst episodes in the entire show. Because it was like he wrote like the story of the teleplay or something, and then some other people like picked it up and made the final product. And I would say the reason that one's so bad is because no one's redeemable. Like, and that's the one major complaint I'd have about the whole thing is that some of the ideas that are touched upon in the show, some of these technology ideas, like the big famous one everyone talks about, the fucking what's that one called? White Christmas. It's followed by it's the follow up, or the episode before. It's called White Bear. So I'm always like confused. Which is a awesome episode. I watched White Bear. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is bullshit. Everything fucking. Oh, they fucked me. Because a lot of times, a few times, I've seen what's gonna happen ahead of time. I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be this and this. Boom. Okay, that's cool. And that one fucking was like, oh, you think you fucking cheeky? Go fuck yourself. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, fuck me. That's right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right. So that one was really good. I really thought White Bear is way better than White Christmas. White Christmas just had John Hamm in it, and I was like, hey, it's John Hamm. That's weird. All right, moving on. But it has like a couple, and it had two really cool ideas that weren't either fleshed out to its full capacity. It tried to play into two things. It seemed like it was like two separate scripts. So like, hey, let's make a Christmas special, and they jammed the two together. Or two concepts, and they jammed the two into one script. Because I don't feel like either of them like got enough to shine, really like show you what they could do. And then also, I thought the one was really dumb. It's like the fucking blocking thing was so stupid. Like, why would anyone agree to that? Why would anyone agree to just have someone just like grained out in front of them because they have like magical tech eyes? Like, what? You're not going to work something out with someone? You're not going to like try to like, I mean, sure, in some cases maybe that works out, but like they can still like physically harm you. Like, all it does is, it's just kind of like a weird, like, maybe because like I just have a different outlook on like how Twitter should be handled, but like, it's like kind of like a blocking thing where you're like, fuck this person, or like muting or anything like that. It's just like a weird, it seemed like such a weird thing. I don't understand how everyone would just agree to this. Or like, and like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to get into how that one ends or whatever, but like, I thought that concept was so weird that someone would agree to that. Or like the one where you could record everything, which is also another one that wasn't fully written by the main guy. So that way this one might be a little strange, but like, why would everyone agree to this? And like, the baby had one, so that means like you don't get to choose. So this is just like exclusively everyone has to have this. I guess it kind of makes sense because like the police were like, well, do you have a recording? The one girl who didn't have one, she's like, no. And it's like, okay, well then fuck you, we're not showing up. Which it also seems weird. Like, that seems like something you shouldn't do. So I'm not really sure. Like, some of the concepts seem like, why would anyone agree to this? Like, no one had like an uproar. Similar to the idea of this first episode of the third season. I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden. Downfall. No. Not Downfall. Whatever. It's basically like everyone has a Yelp score. And like, yeah, I could totally see everyone being like, that could be a thing that everyone just enjoys and becomes super like shitty with. And like, But like when she like tries, she's like, "Oh, I'll be nice to this person." They're like, "Oh, well, we don't talk to that person." So then she got like, but you could like anonymously downvote her, and like, that's so dumb. Like, why would you be able to anonymously like that part is stupid. You should like everyone should have to see. You shouldn't have to have no repercussions to you being a shitty person as well. You know what I mean? Like. And like it almost should be like broadcast, like everyone did, like this person downvoted for this or something like that. I don't know, some way you like to check you from just being like a snotty cunt and be like, oh well, fuck them. We don't talk to that person, and like it's fucking stupid. And like the main character was also a piece of shit. She was so fucking stuck up and like forced, like just so focused on her bullshit. And like they have a character show up that was like, oh yeah, I used to do that, but now I got like a 1-4, but I don't care. Like I know this happened, and I realized it wasn't that important. Like fucking, let's have Susan's story. This episode should be about Susan. That was the woman that had like the 1-4. Like this fucking woman. This is what her story was. Is what this episode should have been. Not about this stupid asshole who's like my rating though, and it's like fuck you. Like we don't care. You're so unpleasant. I don't give a shit. You're so fucking self-centered. This woman fell and then like learned from it, and like they tried to kind of do that here, but like she's still like a massive asshole, and I don't care about anything that happened to her, the main character girl. So like fuck her. Then it's followed by the best episode ever of Playtest, which is fucking amazing. Holy shit. Maybe it's just because I enjoy like video games and like the part of it, but it really isn't about that. And like it's weird too, because like the show is always built up as like this big horror thing and everything's spooky, but like it really isn't at all, like even a little. It's a little intense, and like sometimes you're like, fuck, I hate everything that's happening right now, but it's not like scary or anything. It's not really. The only thing is like, do you have an extra hour to sit around and watch episodes? Because they're all pretty long, but they're not like scary anyway. But the one episode with the playtest episode, dives into this like kind of the horrors of technology, and you're like, fuck yeah, this is dope as shit. This is fucking awesome. And like the way they did it, was another one where they were like, fucking gotcha, bitch. I'm like, oh, you fucking got me. You're right. I did not see this one, the full arc of this one coming, because I saw most of it, and I'm like, okay, like it's kind of like not AR. I guess it's technically VR, technically, but you kind of get put into like a mental space where the guy's trying to make a horror game. They're like, a lot of people equate him to like being a Hideo Kojima kind of character, but I guess so. He's just, instead of like just making games, he just exclusively wants to make like stealth games, or not stealth games, horror games. So like it's this Japanese guy living in England. That's the one side note too. Then third season, the one that Netflix picked up on, it's mostly not British people. Like the main characters are usually American actors or people with at least American accents. And I kind of wish this was more of just a representation of British talent instead. Like I kind of wish they stay stuck with that, and it's like we pretty much exclusively use British, performers. Just because like as an American, I don't get to see any of those. And like the second episode, the one with the 15 million merits or whatever, that has the main guy from Get Out in it. And had I just been up on this show, I would have known that he was awesome. And like I would have I saw Get Out right away because I just like everyone else, a lot of the other people on the project, but I would have been like even more stoked because he was in it. So like I kind of wish that this kept doing that, where it's like, hey, here's a bunch of people you probably have never heard of. As an American, enjoyed this show. Like I kind of wish that was part of it still too. I always thought that was cool with the first two. And why it was weird that John Hamm was in the Christmas special for season 2. I'm like, what the fuck is John Hamm doing here? But regardless, but yeah, that one was really fucking cool because it's got this the playtest episode, because it's like this audio visual hallucination thing where they put you in a house and the things you're seeing are all scary and stuff like that, but it's using your own brain, stuff like that. But it's fucking really cool. But a couple times I'm like, okay, this isn't real, because obviously this is auditory. Like the person that's talking to you, they're not really there. That's why they're saying fucked up things, because the game the game is messing with you right now. So like stuff like that. But then the final moment of it, I'm like, god damn, they fucked me up. That was good. They fucked me. I didn't see that coming. It was real good. It was real good. I should watch more of it, but like all the episodes are super long that I haven't really watched a bunch of it. But it's pretty cool. It's just so fucking visually appealing too. Like in the Christmas special, they have a couple of, like this really great shot of the grandfather's house. Oh God, mwah. Wonderful, the best, so great. I love it so much. Such a good fucking. Oh, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah. So there's that show. Watch that show. It's pretty good. It's not. I don't feel like how people explain it is accurate enough. I feel like you should just kind of experience it for yourself. Like if someone explained it to you and you're like, no, I don't think so, just give it a shot. Because people had explained it to me, and like the only reason I watched the first episode is because I enjoyed Kevin Smith's explanation of it. But then I had not, like everything else I'd heard after that was like not. They didn't sell me on it. So I would definitely say if someone has explained it to you and you're like, no, or like, oh, that sounds scary or too much, just give it a shot because it's not really that. It's interesting. Yeah, it's real good. I enjoyed myself a lot with that. Visually, oh, God, so pretty. Such a pretty show. And also, I went and saw a movie. I was going to see multiple movies, but so I got Movie Pass. Because I should have a long time ago, but I just have been dumb and not doing it. Movie Pass is that it's basically a subscription service, where you basically can go and be like, hey, I want to go see this movie. You tell the app, I want to see this movie. It puts money on a debit card they send you, and then you just give them that debit card, and it pays for it that way. And it's $10 a month, so if you see one movie a month, you pretty much pay for it itself. And I like to see things all the time. But I should have gotten it earlier because I can't see a couple of things because it's only a few theaters are up here, which sucks. But if you're in a major city, it's probably even better because even if you're into weird indie movies like I am, it's probably like way better because you can see everything with it. So I was going to use it and I was like, oh, well, the two movies I want to see, I can't. So, and that would be Shape of Water and Three Billboards Out of Ebbing, Missouri. And so I opted to see Three Billboards last night. As my usual peasant self, where I paid my own money as opposed to this thing I had because I fucked up. I should have bought this earlier when they were in like the other theaters that had them. But the movie's really good. The one major reason I wanted to go see it is because one of the few people I listen to for movie opinions online is YMS or Your Movie Sucks on YouTube. I've been following him forever, like forever. 6 years or something, 7 years, 8 maybe at this point. I don't even know. It's been a long time. Like since that guy got started, like his very first, I can't remember which his first video is that I watched, but if you look at his like YouTube thing, his like the videos he put out, I remember distinctly when the Toy Story 3 review came out. So, and that's like his third or fourth video or something like that. So it's been a while. I want to say it was like his 2009 list or something. He does like these top 10 lists, but they're really like top 20, top 30 lists, depending on the year of the movies that he can watch. So he does like a very verbose, like I watch every fucking movie that sounds interesting, and I'll tell you what the ones I thought were good. And so he has a top 10 list that is not necessarily restricted to any particular number. He's trying to put out a top 20, or 2015 list, I think, right now, 2016, something like that. So that'll be out soon. But he gave Billboards like a 10, which is incredibly rare that he does that to anything. Even movies that or like directors he really likes and stuff, he very rarely gives out 10s. So I was like, okay, this is a big deal. Like a lot of times, like he'll see a movie like I liked it, 6 out of 10, and it doesn't mean because he's very much the same way I think of like, why is a 5 a bad thing? 5 should be middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like that, like the fact like a lot of these, you see a lot of reviews these days where it's like anything under a 7 is fucking unbearable. You know what I mean? So he uses the full scale of the rating scale of 1 through 10, so our full range of the scale. So when he gives something a 10, it's a big deal. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow, this fucking thing a movie a 10. Holy shit, I should go see this. It took me forever to go see it though. I don't know why. He did that review like a long time ago, or the quickie, whatever it was. And yeah, so I finally got around to seeing it. It's really fucking good. It's pretty good. I don't know if it was like my favorite thing of the year, but fucking real good, real funny, real interesting way. As someone who's kind of been around, I mean, I'm not from like the Midwest small town, but I'm from a smallish town, and I have family that are from even smaller towns. People talking that way, like the people in this movie talk very rough. Like there's no being PC, like they say the N-word, they say whatever, like they say pretty rough language. Like, oh shit, okay, hang on, oh, whoa. So it took me a second to be like, right, they're a small town in Missouri. Like this happens. I know people that talk like this still. And also side note, I thought it was very interesting that they make it a small town. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, this is a really cool idea because your cast of characters can be kind of small, but when like it makes sense when someone who's kind of a background character in the beginning, they're just there to kind of set up the billboard or whatever. That guy shows up at the woman's house later, and you're like, oh right, yeah, he would just. There's not many people in this town. Like obviously he'd have to show up. Like you can use your extras more like their extras can be kind of, they feel more like people because they've, sure, okay, this guy's like 3 lines, but then later in the movie you can come back and be like, oh yeah, this is a character, like this is a person now. Because there's just so few people, you can just, and so it makes sense where it's not like, oh, this is a budgetary thing, or oh, that's just whatever. It's like, no, it's just a small town. Like there's only a few people that you would need to interact with when it comes to this topic, and so this guy's gonna show up a second time. So there's a lot of movies and like stuff about like small towns, but I thought about like why it's kind of a cool setting. Like it's not always just like it's like a horror thing, or like, oh my god, small town, it's so scary, Silent Hill, but like it can be kind of cool, in like a story way. We're like, oh, okay, this is like a small town, so your cast can be limited, but then that can also help it because it's like part of the setting, that kind of stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's like really well written. It's really well shot. They have a really cool thing with so she like buys these 3 billboards because of her to kind of basically call out the police because they didn't solve a certain crime. I won't get into it just in case you want to see the movie. Even though I had already known that going into the movie, but I'll save you. But from her house, like she has like a swing set that they often sit on, and whenever some character, there's like a moment where she has talked to a different character, they'll sit on this swing set and they'll overlook what's in front of them, and overlooking what they're in front of them is the back of these billboards, which I thought was a really cool shot. So it's kind of like down this hill, and like the way the hills are set up, it's really nice, and it's all very just visually appealing. They have a couple CGI scenes. The one was fine because it's so small, you really couldn't notice it. And they have like a bigger one that's kind of weird. And like occasionally it went into like uncanny valley. You're like, oh, that's really good. And then it would move. And you're like, I don't know. Is that correct? I don't know. I don't understand how that works. So it was kind of weird how they would do stuff like that. What else? Oh, it was really good though. I really enjoyed it. Everyone put on a pretty good performance. It's really well written. It's like structurally written. Dialogue too, but like structurally, it did a really good job. I really, really enjoyed, like, there's a major moment, like a certain character makes an action, and then you watch how that action just, it's such a clear middle point, and then you watch how it all just like falls into place. Everything plays into itself, because a lot of times you watch a thing, and they'll have like a big moment, but it doesn't actually mean anything, it doesn't actually affect anything, it doesn't actually do anything. It's just like, okay, there's a big moment. And, like, it's that kind of stuff, where it's like, all right, it's just a big moment, I guess. Like, sure. So it's weird. It's I enjoy the fact that it was flowing nicely. It was like a nice pace. It worked out really well. Why I'm saying it was gonna be like, he's like, this will be like one of the next classics, and like maybe you might be right. I guess it's really well done. It was really cool. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's good. It's fucking really, really good. I would recommend it. I want to see Shape of Water. I might have to see that like tonight. I have to like run out like right away. So like, because it's not gonna be around for much longer unless because I never really watch stuff like it shows up like on Netflix and Amazon. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. There's other things I can do at home. It's like I'd rather go to the theater. I preach about this all the time on the show. So not to sound like a complete asshole again, but I enjoy being in the theater a lot more than watching a movie at home. It's just rare that I do it. I don't know why. It's not even like I'm opposed to it. It's just I never think of it. Like I'm at home, I'm like, oh, well, I'll do this. And then, like, if I'm like, oh, I'm going to see a movie, it's not like, well, let me pop up Netflix, let me throw up Amazon Prime, let's see what's available. Let's go see what's out there. So, it's weird. It's weird, because I feel like I'm the opposite of most people. I feel like most people are like, oh, I'm going to watch a movie, and they go to these streaming services, they find what they want. I'm, like, weirdly opposite in that way. I don't even associate with it. Like, sometimes I'll be on Netflix, I'm like, oh, right, this movie's on here, right, let me watch it right now. Like, if I'm, like, going in with, like, no purpose, then that'll happen, but it rarely happens. Like usually if I'm going on to a service, I'm like, I want to watch this, and like I go and do that. Although I just found out there's a lot of cool fucking movies on Amazon Prime, so I might do that actually. I actually start trying to use these services that I have anyway. I watch TV that way, but on movies, I don't know why. Yeah, I guess that would be that. There's a few things I want to talk about with the video games. First being Final Fantasy XIV's fucking trailer for 4.2. That shit, the tits. Oh god, so good. Oh yeah, fuck me up right that. God, so good. What the fuck? I haven't even been playing Final Fantasy 14. So like I bought Stormblood and like I got to like 71. I think 80 is the cap right now, or whatever. So I barely played it, and I don't even know why. I was just like not in the mood for Final Fantasy 14, because Final Fantasy 14's like leveling process is very different than other games' leveling processes. It's far more story driven. It's a lot slower. There's like, it's not a lot of like run around and do aimless quests, and when you do that, it's not really a thing that like, like they're not really that fun to do, and like it's kind of weird. It's a lot like the Final Fantasy 14 shines in its end game, like doing dungeons or just dungeons in general, like while you're leveling, whatever, fucking doing some of the raids they have. That shit really is where it shines. And it's really fucking awesome when you do that stuff. So like I never like clicked it. I was like, oh, whatever. And then I played a bunch of Destiny 2 when that came out because that was right around that time. So like I had waited to play Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood. And then Destiny 2 came out, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just play this. And so I did that. And then while I was playing Destiny 2, I was like, you know what? No. This is a bad MMO. I'm going to go play a good MMO. So I jumped on WoW. Oh, yes, so good. Love it. Love WoW. So good right now. It's so fun. Oh, my God, I'm playing so much of it lately. As a tangent on this Final Fantasy 14 thing, WoW is so good right now. It's so fun. Legion was so good. I know a lot of people there's some people who have complaints about Legion. I don't really know what they are. A lot of people don't like the legendary system, where it's like you can get like legendary items, which used to be like there's only like 2 or 1 per expansion. Now there's like 5 per class, but they're rare still. And as you do end game content, you basically, so you do a raid, you have a 1% chance. You do 2, it drops to maybe 2. And then so the more end game stuff you do, the higher your chances become to actually get one of these drops. I think that's a great idea because everyone fucking wants them and it encourages you to end game content. That's great because every game struggles with you. Like if you're coming back to a game, you need to have a reason that the person coming back or starting for the first time, like if you're listening right now and you're like, I've never played WoW, let me jump in right now, and you fucking want to play, some old dungeon or something, there have to be other players that want to do that so that you can experience that yourself. So to have a reason, so I came back and I just did the looking for raid for Nighthold, Trials of Valor, and Tomb of Sargeras. So I missed 3 fucking raids. Although Trials of Valor is kind of a tiny raid, but I missed 3 raids. I didn't even play them. So, but I got the opportunity to do that because there were players going back to these raids. Because you can't just queue up for a random raid. You have to pick the looking for raid you want to do. You have to pick the specific one. So I got to do all of them. I got to do every single thing. I got to see the storylines for all of these, and like a lot of they have zones that lead into the raid, and then you could see. So like there were reasons for everyone to show up because they had this legendary system pushing for someone. So there's a reason for someone to show up and be like, all right, I'm a literal mythic tier raider for fucking Burning Throne right now, but I'm still gonna go do Nighthold, tier 1 because I want to fucking see. But whatever, I want to go. I want to see if I can get this drop for this thing or whatever. So there's like a reason. So it makes So it makes sense. So I really like that structure. But yeah, I just thought fucking Legion is brilliant. And like that they have basically, I guess they're turning into an esport, which is interesting. But it's PvE dungeons where you have, you get keys for them now. And they have like +1, +2, I think up to like +25 or something like that. And you can modify with it or whatever. I may have mentioned this on the show. I literally can never remember what I talk about on the show when I talk about it with real people. I'm just going to briefly touch upon this, though. And so, yeah, you get these keys, and they have, like, Halo skull effects on them. So, like, I think, what was the last week I was doing? There was one that was, like, there are more random enemies, and then random enemies have... random enemies have enrage timers, and they'll enrage, and then bosses have enrage, meaning I think they take less damage, deal more damage, something like that. It usually happens if you take too long in a boss fight. It's kind of a artificial way to end the fight, so that like have you ever heard of an MMO? Someone talking about a DPS check. It means you need to do this much damage to kill the boss, or you just lose. You're just not strong enough. So they're kind of like artificial walls in raid development. So like, okay, you can't get past this point now because you didn't pass the DPS check. You need to go get gear for your DPS characters, blah, blah, blah. So something like that. And then I forgot the other one was the final one, but there's like up to 3. I think there might be more too if you can go to the upper tiers of them. I'm not sure. I've only been up to unlock 3 of them. And yeah, so like you add these effects to them, and then you go and you attempt these dungeons, and like every time you die, it takes time away, stuff like that. So it's a very cool fucking system. It's very fun. It's like it's been the most fun I've had with WoW dungeons and just WoW in general since I first started playing. When you first do your first dungeon, you're like, this is so fucking cool. Oh my god, it's so cool. Everything's gotta be slow, meticulous. You gotta be like, all right, well, do we have fucking, like, I don't know, let me get mana before we take on this next mob, this next pack of mobs. So stuff like that, you have to like think and plan and be slow with it and like, do stuff it's really fucking cool. I really have been enjoying that. Like I did up to plus 10, which was really cool. It was really hard. It was a lot of fun. Because I have like no gear right now because I didn't do any of the stuff that would lead you into these tiers. So I've just been like slowly building. So I was like, oh, I can do probably like plus 10. I could, and it was like a lot of fun. I performed well, and I probably could do like plus 11, plus 12. But I'm like, oh my god, that was like a lot of work, and like something I like, it's cool too because I have to think about it. I'm like, okay, these are the bonuses that are going to be on for this week, because like one of the weeks I did it was bursting. So every time a mob died, it exploded and did damage, and it would give you a debuff that would stack for everything that exploded. So you couldn't pull huge groups, but people still did. So then we would just wipe constantly, and then people would get upset and they leave. But it's like, I don't understand. Like, why are you pulling so big? We literally cannot stop these guys. These guys are just going to explode all over us, and we're going to be in pain. Stop doing this. Stop pulling this big. So yeah, it's cool because it makes you rethink about the way that we want to do the dungeon. Because like when it came to WoW for a long time, once you hit a certain eye level and you're just a certain amount of strong, you could just pull an entire dungeon if you want to and be like, all right, I'm gonna kill it. There's no way they can hurt me as long as you're healing me, stuff like that. So it stopped becoming like cerebral and just became like, all right, this is kind of like a chore. And so the mythic pluses make it more cerebral, make you think about it, make you plan, and have to like use kind of some of your rating skills. Like, I can't stand here. Like, standing here is a bad idea. And like one was quake, and like every few seconds, you would basically, an earthquake would appear below you and do damage to you. And if you stacked over that, it would do a ton of damage. But if everyone would split up, it wouldn't do as much damage, and you could heal past and go through and just continue fighting. So it was cool shit like that, where it's just like, okay, you're just like, normally, I'm on a boss fight or something, I can just stand in one place and just stab him in the butt, and then the guy, he dies, because I play a rogue. So like, I just stand behind things and I stab them. That's just how a rogue is played. But if I have to fucking move all of a sudden, that's really cool. Okay, now I have to really rethink, like, all right, how do I want to do this? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Like, how do I want to do this? That's really fucking cool. I also did the final raid, Unlooking for raid, Argus, which I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. So like, Titans are like this big thing in WoW, and like they can be planets. Azeroth, the planet the game takes place on, is a Titan. And the planet you go to that like the Burning Legion on, that's also a Titan named Argus. And the last boss of this last raid was Argus, the Unmaker. And I was like, it took me forever until I was literally in the middle of the fight. I'm like, oh, it's the planet. We're killing the planet. I'm so fucking dumb. We're literally fighting the planet right now. I'm so stupid. I don't know why it took me so long to like put it together. I'm like, oh yeah, Argus. I knew the last boss was Argus too. I knew it was him. I knew that was what his name was. I knew, because like, you go to the Pantheon of the Titans too. That's where you take this. You have this fight. There's all these guys sitting in chairs watching you. And like, I knew that's where that fight took place. I knew what the boss looked like. I knew who the boss was. I just never put two and two together. Like, oh yeah, the boss is also the planet. I'm so stupid. The planet I've been running around on is also the last boss of this fucking raid. I'm so fucking dumb. But that was really cool. It was a really fun fight. Even on Looking for Raid, it was a lot of fun. And like, sometimes you can see like the underpinnings of some of the ideas of what the normal or mythic plus or mythic level raids would be. You're like, oh, that's a really cool mechanic. I kind of wish I could like do that or apply that in Looking for Raid, but a lot of times we can this mechanic does like no damage, so I'll just stand here and eat it. I don't care. So you don't actually have to do like as much, but that was a really cool fight. But Final Fantasy 14, as I meant to talk about, because I had gone off and played WoW a bunch, and I just like having an MMO. I like having an MMO around. I talk way too fast. Sometimes I listen to this show, I'm like, wow, this show could be like, my solo episodes could be like 2 hours if I just slowed down, but I just talk way too fast. Regardless, Final Fantasy 14, I enjoy that game a lot. I just like Final Fantasy. I think it's a fun aesthetic. I like the way everything plays together. I mean, sure, every game kind of looks different or whatever, but like, it's a comfort place for me. I'm like, oh, Final Fantasy, perfect. This is wonderful. I love it. Yeah. Then and I have a group I follow on Facebook that's like my server. Like, it's just a bunch of people from my server. They post random stuff. They talk about like, hey, I'm looking for this free company. Hey, is everyone trying to buy this house right now? Whatever. So like, it's kind of them. But they'll post stuff about like the updated patches and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man. So I keep up with the game. But then this new patch dropped, and they showcased the Phantom Train trial, which they had referenced earlier on in the expansion, or late in the last expansion or something. The Phantom Train being one of the bosses from Final Fantasy VI. Which is a really cool fight. And so like, they were showing in the trailer the fight, and you're like running on top of it, and you go like through it, and you fight the train itself in front of it. I'm like, this is really cool. This is a really fucking cool like rework of this famous fight that everyone likes so much, in like the way and then the Final Fantasy 14 engine. Like, that's a really cool way to work around that. and then they show some other stuff, and then they fucking end it with Kefka's laugh, and then Kefka's face show up, the main villain of Final Fantasy VI. Fucking so cool. I lost my shit. I was like, this is fucking the best. I fucking want to come back to this game right now. This is fucking so dope. Because if there's any game I do really well at, it's that one. I don't know really why. I think it's a little bit easier than WoW, for at least, maybe not now, because WoW took a lot. There's a lot of things I can see that WoW took from Final Fantasy XIV, like very clear indicators on the ground. Because like Final Fantasy XIV, everything has some kind of tell. It's like, I'm going to do this big attack. Here's this giant orange fucking rectangle in front of me. This is where the attack's going to be, asshole. Fucking move out of this. And as long as you step out of that, you don't take damage. So like Final Fantasy XIV is a very like, this is the bad zone. And WoW didn't have that for a long time. So a lot of times I would die and stuff. Also, I was a dumb kid and I was a bad player. It's just being like a dumb kid, I don't even think is a real excuse. Because I had friends my same age who fucking were like, upper tier rating at like in high school. I'm just like this fucking idiot kid, so it's clearly I'm just stupid. But yeah, like Final Fantasy 14 I do really well, and I really like the classes make a lot of sense to me. Like the class I've played like Dragoon, really. It's like that. It's like I just get it. So I play it. I'm like, okay, well, if I try this and this, I made my DPS can change. Like I can like restructure like my rotation in my head. Like I don't even have to like be there. I can just like think about it. It's like weird. I just like the way that game has been designed. It's very much aligned with the way I think, I guess. It's also in terms of like mechanics of fights and stuff. So if there's any game I want to raid in, it would be that one. I think I would perform well in that. So I've always kind of wanted to throw together a static, and like, which is the terminology for having a raid team. I guess they call it a static. It's like a static group of people that show up. The teams are smaller too. It's only 8 people as opposed to 25 to 10, which is in WoW. Because raiding's fun. Raiding's just fun in any game. It's a lot of fun. Just having a bunch of friends coming together, hanging out, doing stuff. As long as one person's not a total asshole. If they are a total asshole, at least pull your fucking damage numbers, asshole. Be a dick, but at least do big dick damage. So yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, this would be a fun game to do it in. And now I'm just seeing some of the stuff they're trying to like, they're teasing at and stuff. I'm like, oh god, I really want to get back to this game. So I'd like to play Final Fantasy 14 again. I think I might just resub and just try to like level up. Experience, because the stories are fun. It's just like there's a lot of downtime between story events, so like it can get kind of boring. And it's not like a game like WoW. I don't give a fuck about the music a lot of times. Like I'll put on music. I can watch a show. Like when I was like doing random grinding stuff in WoW, I'll like watch like shit on Netflix on my other monitor. I don't give a shit. But in 14, unless I'm at the late game part of it, I don't really ever do that. So I don't know why. Because I mean, they have like a really good orchestrated soundtrack, and they have cutscenes with like people talking. Voiceover, which they only recently added to WoW. So like it's not like a thing I can really fuck around with too much. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. I want to get back to it. I really enjoy that game. I enjoy playing Dragoon. I know they changed it a little bit recently, or maybe just Stormblood in general. I don't know. I haven't gotten to like with the upper. They changed a lot of way classes worked, but they changed something that I want to look at and get my hands on. So I just enjoy it. I always play when I go to PAX East every year. They have like They basically have like a Final Fantasy 14 section, and you get your party together in line, and then you go and you attempt some bosses together. And it's always a lot of fun to kind of like pick up group in short. You pug just in front in line. You're like, all right, well, what are you playing? Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, we'll do. All right, I'll tank, whatever. And like people like go like, all right, well, yeah, all right, I'll do this, I'll do that. Okay, cool. And then you just get in a group, and they go, how many do you have? All right, we're this 8. Okay, cool, do that. And like it's cool, like put it together in line. It's a lot of fun. And then they give you a T-shirt, which is always cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, Final Fantasy 14. If they're fucking bringing in Kefka, I'm all about it. Kefka's awesome. Like I've been recently like rethinking, like God, Final Fantasy 6 is awesome, and I want them to remake it, kind of like the way they're doing Secret of Mana, the remake, where it's like visually been rehauled, but because there's some things with Final Fantasy 14 which I don't. Or Final Fantasy 6, I'm not a huge fan of. Like the overworld, the way that works is Mode 7 is a programming thing from the Super Nintendo era that it uses, and it looks so weird, and it's like awkward to like work with, and it's like I don't like it as much. So unless they like redid that maybe, or maybe they just made it like overhead, I don't know. But it's a pretty game, even back then. I just wanted to I would like to play it again. It's a good thing, good game. The versions that are out there and available are like weird, and like the best version in quotes is like a fan-made version of it that has like the lighting from the Super Nintendo version or something. Yeah, and then the translation from the Game Boy Advance version. And it's weird. It's like in an emulator for like the ultimate version of it. It's so, I don't understand. It's so strange. Yeah, so like that 5 and 6 need like a real good like, all right, here's a real version of it. That are not these garbage phone versions. What else? Oh, yeah. So, final few things here. Monster Hunter comes out next week, or this week that you're listening to this, the 26th. So, the week, because I delayed this release because I'm lazy and listened to Pale Waves for 8 hours in the last 2 days. So, that comes out. But the beta's up right now. So, I was like, oh, let me try this game. Because I've always tried to play Monster Hunter. I've always been fascinated by Monster Hunter. It seems like it would speak to my values. But I just haven't played it. It never clicked with me. The only real one I gave a real attempt to was the first one, the PS2, and I've always tried the handheld ones, and I'm like, this is cool, but I hate controlling this completely, so I never play it. So I jumped onto this one, and they have a training room, so I'm like, all right, it would be best if I could just fuck with some weapons and see which ones I like, because there's a lot of concepts, like weapon concepts, that I think are fucking awesome. Like the insect glaive is fucking cool. And then I found out you can, like, basically Dragoon jump. You can like vault yourself up and then just do like literal air combat forever if you wanted to. And it's awesome. I'm like, that's so cool. It's just so complicated. I can't wrap my head around the insect glaive. I don't know why. It's so weird. I don't get it. I tried so hard today. I'm like, all right, so I do this and I gotta send the insect there and get that buff. That makes sense. But then how do I stay in the air forever? Like I don't understand. And like the buff fades. All right, I gotta do this, and like it's so weird. I couldn't do it. I'm too stupid. Maybe one of these days, if I stick out with this game and like get comfortable with the mechanics of just like moving, I might be able to do it better and be more comfortable with it. But like right now, Monster Hunter just feels weird to me. But I like it. I'm like, I want to learn this. I just need to break past this one barrier, and I'm gonna be in there for good. So I tried also the charge blade, because switch axe is the other weapon. Got it. Okay. They both turn into axes, but it's for some reason I'm very confused. They confuse me. That weapon's so cool too. You like build up charges and then you can put it in your like the axe blade, or you can put it in your shield, and you can like do these different things. Like the head of the axe is a shield, then you can combine it with the sword and make a two-handed axe, but you can have a sword and shield, and you can like charge different things with it, and like it's such a cool concept. But I just literally cannot. Like I'm hoping maybe once the game comes out, then there'll be more like in-depth and verbose YouTube tutorials that I can watch and just like visually watch someone do what they have to do to get these weapons to work, because I can't fathom it. It's like so much, like reading it and then trying to like apply it in like visually in front of me is so weird. I literally, I'm like struggling to be like, I don't understand. What is this? So yeah, I was like trying different weapons today in the beta, and I just randomly picked the dual blades, which for some reason I just associate with being an asshole. I don't know why. I'm like, people must hate me if I pick these. I don't know why I think this. I've never heard anyone even say that. I just for some reason assume that I want to use this weapon, and therefore I'm a douchebag. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I kept thinking that. But I picked it up. I'm like, oh, this weapon's awesome. This is so sick. I feel so cool. I'm like actually like doing really cool shit, and like I feel like it's just like working with me. I'm like, oh, okay. This is what people mean when they're like, just try every weapon, you're going to find the one that fits. I never tried this one. And I was like, oh, okay, this feels good. This just feels cool. This is a dope fucking weapon. It has like the cool form changes too, where you can like, build up rage basically, and you can go to like demon mode, and then you can like build up another level of rage past that and then go into like a arc demon mode or something. Fucking really cool. So I did like the first hunt that they have, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is like a lot of fun. I really enjoy what I'm doing here. This is like a fun time. Like I see how like using the environment to like jump and like being in the air has different moves than like being on the ground does, all the different weapons and stuff. And I was just like, oh, this is really cool. Like I'm just having a good time. Everything's making sense. Everything's working out. So I'm looking forward to picking it up. And like I haven't really dove into the beta that much, because I want to, if I'm going to play it, like I really just want to play the beta just to get comfortable with the weapon. I want to be like, all right, I don't want to like go into the game and know I hate every weapon and then buy the, like, but I've already purchased it, you know what I mean? So I was hoping to like, I could just try everything before I really jumped in. And so now that I'm kind of comfortable with a weapon, I'll feel comfortable just playing the game. So now I'm going to get it, I'll dual blade and then just fuck around with that. But I'm looking forward to it. It's really cool. I had a lot of fun just fucking around with that weapon. Yeah, so when I play it, that will come out, and I'll play a bunch of that. It'll be a lot of fun. And then the final thing I want to talk about briefly. So, I just enjoy watching esports. I don't even care. Like, I never understood when people just watch sports passively unless they cared about the team. That never made sense to me. I just never got it. And now I totally get it, because I just watch any esports. I don't care. Like, I was literally, like, just watching the E-League Counter-Strike tournament, and then when they went to commercial break, I would switch over to anything else. Like I was watching Genesis 2 or Genesis 5. Genesis 2 is wrong with me. Genesis 5. I don't know how I fucked that up in my head. Genesis 5, which is the Smash tournament. But I cannot stand watching Smash 4 and like Melee, whatever. Like it's in a weird state. Maybe not now, but like when I stopped watching it was in a weird state where it's like it's gonna be one of these 5. Like I don't like it. There's no suspense to it. So, but they had Smash 64, which I am fascinated by that game. It's so weird. Just one touch death, basically meaning as long as you're touched once, the combo system is in a way that you just die. A good player, as soon as they confirm a hit, they will take you right off the stage. You will die. You are not going to come back. So there's a few things you can do to like bait that and stuff at the higher level, but like it's a very interesting game to watch. Where you're like, you can see them just kind of like literally sometimes just standing there and watching each other. Like, who's gonna make a move? Do something, because I was like, I'm not gonna. And I think it's kind of cool. So I very much enjoy watching that. Always, whenever that's on. And just watching like how the tier lists work out and like how the characters do different things. How they're slightly different than Melee too, which I find pretty cool. And it's hype as fuck too. It's so hype. The guy fucking won today with the Falcon Kick, which in that game is terrible. It's terrible in Melee too, but it's like really bad. And so he won. He basically hit confirmed with a Falcon Kick and then finished him off with a normal combo. It was like that was so sick. But then I flipped away, watched a bunch of Counter-Strike. Came back and I was watching the Rivals of Aether like losers finals and grand finals. That game's fucking dope. I didn't know how cool that game was. It's so cool. Like the one character, the guy who won, he's playing some kind of like smoky fire guy. It was so cool. He's like laying down like smoke bombs basically like all over the fucking like the middle of the screen, like making an area completely invisible. You can't see where he is and where he's gonna come from. So he'd like lay down like a bunch of like smoke, and then he'd like you couldn't tell he's gonna come from the platform, he's gonna come from the base of the stage or something. Like it was really cool. And like his aerials were dope. Like his aerials were so like all of them seemed like just like they when I'd watch them hit, it like felt like it hit. It was like poof, poof, he was bouncing all over the place and fucking sick. Like his bear is really cool. Like it's just he's got really fucking cool aerials. And like I was like, oh man, I might play this character. This guy's fucking cool. So I might actually start playing Rivals Aether too, because I have the fucking GameCube adapter, so I could have a GameCube controller while I play this on my PC. Like it's totally doable. I just have not done it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. I guess I remember it came out and it had like 4 characters. I'm like, well, I'll get back to it when it comes to more characters. Like maybe I'll get back to it. But now they have a whole bunch. They have a whole bunch of people. They have the Ori from Ori and the Blind Forest as a guest character. I had never played that, so I don't really know what that means. It seemed like a cool little cat person, and they had a little like parachute thing as its a bee. It was cute. Yeah, it was really cool. Like watching them, like it's cool to watch Smash games that are meant to be competitive Smash games, because you watch like 64 to Smash 4, and you're like, all right, these are cool, and what they're doing is cool, and like what people have discovered about the systems is cool. But it's clearly not meant to be this game. It's not meant to be this competitive game. Half the roster is unplayable. Certain things are broken, whatever. And then you see like Project M, you're like, okay, this is really cool. This is really fucking cool that someone was like, all right, Smash is awesome, but we're going to make a thing that is built to be competitive. And you're like, that's awesome, because that's what people want to play for Smash. They want to be competitive. They want to have a balanced experience. So they like rebuilt maps that are stages. They would reconstruct fucking characters completely and like change them in certain ways. And of course, everyone bitches about everything because this is an online a game played on the internet, so everyone's just got fucking problems about everything. But I thought it was really fucking well done. I think PM is done really well, and it's a very cool idea. And it's because it's always weird too, because you talk to someone who played a bunch of Melee, and they're like, oh, PM characters are janky and weird. And it's like, I don't know how much of that is true, as much as they're just used to being a top dog in Melee, and then like, okay, now you gotta relearn this thing, and so now you're gonna lose to bullshit because you just don't know, as opposed to like years and years of just knowing what every Melee character can and does. You don't really know what everything happens in PM. So when fucking Lucario's doing cool fucking weird things, or Snake does a weird fucking thing where he puts you to sleep, you're like, I don't know what this is. So like you don't know what these things are when you first play. So I wonder if like how much of it is just like, I don't feel like learning a new thing. I don't know. I was thinking about that today, because like for a moment I was watching Rivals of Aether. I'm like, this game's cool. I don't really want to play it. I was like, is that just because I don't want to relearn something? Because I haven't played Smash in years, like at a competitive level at all. I was at a friend's house, and I was just like, they wanted to play Melee, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll play it. And like, it's just like, once the rust burnt off, like, oh yeah, this game's awesome. Like fucking just doing everything correctly, watching your opponent, trying to figure out where they're going to be, hitting them in certain spots, like covering certain zones because your range of whatever you got or whatever. Like, oh yeah, this game's awesome. Like the fucking concept, the base core of this is fucking sick. And like, it's also super weird too to me though, because like I just didn't lose. You know, if I was just playing Marth, who's the character I put the most time in when I played Melee, like it was, I don't know if I was like losing. I maybe lost a stock a game or something. It was like I just I hadn't played in 2 years basically. So it's like, oh, okay, this is like, but it's weird because I'm fucking dog shit at that game. Like if I go to a tournament, I'm gonna get fucking busted out. Like fucking before I won't make it out of pools. Like I'm terrible. So it's just weird that there's like this next level above that me. I'm like, oh man, that's really weird. Like it's just weird that this game is so simple, but it just has this huge fucking ocean of like talent, player ability. So weird. It's such a weird fucking thing. Smash is so strange. But Rivals of Aether, my fucking tongue today, seemed really cool. And like it's got a really cool cast, kind of small. But if it's built from the ground up of being like a Smash game with like built to be competitive, it could be really fucking cool. So I'm thinking about giving it a shot and like actually attempting it in a unique way. Because like, I got to learn what certain stages are. I'm like, all right, why would I want one stage over another? Like I know, like if you throw me into a Smash tournament, I'm at least going to know which stages I want depending on my opponent and my character, like my matchup. Like I know what I want. I wouldn't know in this game. So it'd be cool to be like, all right, let me think about this. Like how do I look up stuff like, all right, what are the blast zones on this? And like, what's my knockback? And like going into a stage and being like, all right, what are my advantages at any one point? I'm standing on the bottom of the stage. Does my up tilt or up smash reach the platform above me? Do I have to do an up air to hit this, or like what do I got to do to hit certain things? What am I like? That's a lot. That's like the fun part of Smash, where you just go into a stage by yourself and like, all right, where can I control what? Where do I have to stand to do this? And like, all right, they're gonna do this. Like understanding your options, stuff like that, like figuring it all out is a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed this. So I might pick that game up if I can like get my fucking adapter to work. So every time I get that thing to work, it's always like a headache. It always takes like an extra few minutes to be like wrestling with it and be like, all right, what does this do? And I fucking gotta make sure I zero in both the joysticks. And say always can be a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's about everything I want to talk about today. It's been a minute when I'm alone, just kind of talking about anything, but it's been good. It was good. I enjoyed. Feels good to talk about stuff. Get off the old chest. Talk about Pale Waves, the best band ever. And hey, you could get in on them now and be cool and be like, hey, when they're fucking the big deal, be like, oh, I know about them. I was there. No, I'm just an asshole who fucking cares about that shit. Oh, heavens. Yeah, it's good though. Oh, they're so good. They're so fucking good. God damn it. Oh, God. All right, yeah. Play video games. Do cool things. And with that, love and kisses.